I'm so excited for today's video. You guys have probably been hearing a lot of buzz about the new Huda Beauty foundation. I've been wearing it off camera for the past couple of days. I'm excited about it, okay? But we're gonna do a 2-day wear test here. I'm gonna apply it today using a brush and then tomorrow using a sponge, and I'm only gonna powder 1/2 of my face on both days. I don't have the primer that she made to go along with this foundation because I don't usually wear primers. But I do have my usual that I've been wearing for like the past few months, which is the NYX Blur Screen SPF 30, and I'm actually almost out of that. Along with the foundation, we're also going to be doing a wear test of the new Ciele concealer. That's something else I'm very excited about, and I had just did a video comparing the Ciele skin tint versus the Supergoop skin tint, and I did mention that I would love to see one of these brands come out with a concealer, and lo and behold, we have one from Ciele. So happy about that. So I really love the packaging of the Huda Beauty foundation because it's so travel friendly, and I do have a trip coming up, and I just love that it's lightweight, it's not glass, and it's not something that's going to take up a lot of space in my bag or anything. Really love the packaging. I know some people were complaining about it, but I also think that the packaging is what kept the price points a little low. This currently retails for $37 USD, and I'll have the price points of what that translates to Canada and the UK up on the screen. I just gotta say, Huda with her marketing, genius with this marketing campaign for this foundation. I mean, it was everywhere. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. So it's available in 29 shades. It's a medium buildable coverage infused with 1.5% niacinamide. It has silica for pore blurring results, giving a natural airbrush finish. It's fragrance and alcohol free, which is very nice considering that her products are usually heavily fragranced. It's non-comedogenic, and it's lightweight and melts into the skin. And they claim it's a serum-like foundation, ultra blurring, and it's comfortable and easy to apply, and I have to agree with every one of those statements. So my shade, I don't think I mentioned, is 220N. I remember going on the Sephora app and looking through all the shades, and I was so confused on which one to pick. But luckily, thankfully, I picked correctly because this shade match is unbelievable. So if you're around my skin tone, we're like foundation twins, 220N Custard is the way to go with this foundation. So as I usually do, I pour some on the back of my hand. The consistency, it's a very lightweight, liquidy consistency. It's very runny. So I'm gonna take some on the back of my hand and just rub it in first with my finger like that. To blend it out, I'm going to use the NYX Beauty Pinnacle foundation brush to work this into the skin. That blends in so seamless, so smooth. It looks like I have nothing on my skin, and I love that my skin just looks perfect. It looks smooth, it looks blurred. I'm going to show you guys a close-up right now what it's looking like before I go ahead and finish off my makeup. It's unreal how good this foundation is. I hope that close-up was helpful so you guys can see, like, the way my skin looks is insane. I look like I have nothing on, and it looks like I have perfect skin. I wish. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off some of my makeup off camera and then come back when it's time to try the concealer. Okay, so I'm back and I'm ready to do some concealer. I used, if you guys are wondering, everything will be linked below with shade names. I used on my lips the Milk Odyssey lip oil gloss. I used my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, my NYX blush that I completely forgot about and was drying out. I've had that for so long and haven't used it. And And I used on my eyes the Naked palette that I'm so happy to have. I'm just so happy that I got my hands on it this time around. And for the lashes, I used Urban Decay Perversion Volumizing Mascara. I don't think it's new, but it came free when I ordered the palette. So that's what I have on my eyes. So now let's do the concealer. We are using the Ciele Conceal and Protect SPF 50, and boy does this have some claims, and I have to admit it's a pretty good concealer. It's available in 20 shades. They say it covers acne and rosacea, all over brightening and diffusing, natural skin finish, buildable hydrating formula, medium to full coverage, non-nano mineral based broad spectrum SPF 50, acne safe and made with no pore cloggers, strong antioxidant properties that lower the risk of cellular damage to the skin, protects against 4 types of radiation: UVA, UVB, blue light, and infrared. And the hero ingredient in this is tranexamic acid, hopefully I said that correctly, which improves skin discoloration and prevents the formation of new dark spots. And this concealer retails for $36. Lots of claims with this concealer, but let's go ahead and give it a whirl. The shade I got is 5N Light Medium Neutral. I think I might repurchase the skin tint 1 shade up for that perfect shade match because I do really like it. I think it's a great formula, but I just got the wrong shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dab the concealer where I want. And again, I'm gonna powder one side of my face. That means I'm only gonna set even the under eye. I'm only gonna set one side of the under eye so that we can see how does it crease if it's not set, if it's a concealer that creases heavy or not. So using an A506, I'm gonna blend that concealer out, being very careful. So that's the concealer. It looks beautiful. I mean, I feel like my skin looks so airbrushed right now. I'm gonna get a natural light shot for you guys as well. I'm gonna go outside in a couple of hours so that you guys can see. So now let's go ahead and powder. I'm gonna powder the right side of my face, and I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty. I have a mini because whenever you can get a mini, get the mini, especially if you're not someone who goes through something quickly. I don't go through my powders quickly because I'm not heavily using them all the time because I have dry skin. So most of the times I feel I don't even need it. I'm going to use the Huda Beauty powder in Pound Cake, and this is like one of her top sellers. Like everyone loves this powder, and it is a good powder. So I'm going to go ahead and just set the right side. I never used to use the little spongy like applicator that comes with this until recently, and I mean, for what it is, it works okay. So I'm gonna just pat some out and grab on this thing here and just powder where I need. I'm gonna powder this entire side of my face. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take a brush and go under the eye and powder under the eye. Now I have dark circles under my eyes, and I think it did a very good job at covering those up. I really like the way everything looks. I really like how everything blended together. This is the side that's powdered, completely matte on this side, and this side is just as is with my cream products on top of the foundation. I'm not going to set it with any setting spray. I'm going to wear this throughout the day. It is currently 1:14, so I'm going to come back in 8 hours around 9:15 p.m. and we're going to do a check-in, and we're going to see if it makes a difference to wear the powder or not. I've worn this without powder and I think it wore beautifully. It depends. It's going to depend and come down to the finish that you want, that you like, and your skin type. Again, I have very dry, sensitive skin. On days that I don't want my skin looking so matte, I won't powder, but on days where I have a long day ahead of me and I don't want my makeup to wear off so fast, I will put on some powder and some powder products on top of that, and it wears beautifully. I have no complaints about this so far. But stick around, because so where I live, the weather is in the middle of changing. It doesn't know if it's still summer or if it wants to let fall in yet. I'm in that weird phase of weather right now. When this video goes up a couple of days after, I will be on my way to Texas, and I will be taking this foundation with me, and I will be putting it through the test in the heat of Texas, because from what I'm hearing, it is hot out there. So stick around, and I will see you guys in a couple of hours to check in with how this makeup look is going. Everyone, we're outdoors, and I just wanted to show you guys what the makeup is currently looking like in natural light. So this is the powdered side. No powder. There's some settling of the concealer right here. And then on the powdered side, not so much. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys and that you can see the difference. Okay, you guys, we are back. We are done with day one of the wear test. This is applied with a foundation brush, and it's been 8.5 hours. It's currently 9:30 p.m. As I was editing, I realized I had a little like pimple here. I don't know why, out of all the places to break out, I had one here. I was able to cover it up nicely with the foundation, so it does provide really nice coverage. It's medium coverage as it claims, but it is buildable. As you can see, my makeup is still hanging on pretty well, even the side that I didn't powder, which I'm kind of surprised, but it's still looking pretty good, pretty decent for an 8.5 hour day. I did work out. I went about my day as usual. I mostly edited to get a head start on editing. There isn't much settling of the foundation into any fine lines. I don't have much, but like around my smile lines, there's no settling there. The concealer is looking nice on both sides. It's looking a little better on the side that's powdered, but even on the side that's not powdered, the settling in my fine lines is not so bad. It's not bad at all, and I applied a little more than usual, so that is really impressive to me. At least it's really good. Like I said, I do enjoy that concealer. I'm just really impressed with this foundation and even the concealer, if I'm being honest. I really do enjoy them. You'll see I have some smudging of the mascara, which I don't know how that happened, but it did. So I haven't touched up any of my makeup. I didn't apply anything afterwards once the camera was off. I didn't apply any additional powder. I didn't use any setting spray. None of that. This is just how it is, how it's been since application earlier this afternoon. It is worn off a bit around my nose, but that is because I'm currently having some allergies go on, and I was getting a headache and blowing my nose, so it did wear off there. But that, I would say, is more my fault than the product. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a close-up so that you guys can see what it's looking like 8.5 hours later. I hope the close-up was helpful. Let me know what you guys think down below. I also want to note that this foundation, it dries down nice. I forgot to mention in the beginning, but it doesn't take long to dry down onto the skin, and when it does, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. It doesn't feel like it's gonna dry out your skin. I haven't experienced that. It is a very nice feeling, very lightweight. I've had this on again for 8.5 hours, and I don't feel like I have so much makeup or anything on my skin skin. It feels just fine. Like I'm not dying to wash this off my face. Anyway, this concludes day 1. I hope it's been helpful, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for day 2. We're back, day 2. Hope everyone is having a lovely day so far. So let's get right into it. No chitter chatter. We're going in with the Easy Blur foundation. I should also say they do recommend shaking this before you go in using it, but I feel like that's with any foundation, you should always shake them up just in case. I gave it a good shake, and like yesterday, I'm gonna pour some on the back of my hand and go in with that. Just rub some in, help blend it out. And I pointed out yesterday the redness that I have, like the little zit guy right here. Out of all places, that's where I broke out. And it did a really nice job covering up that little area. So let's see today if we get the same amount of coverage with the sponge or if it's gonna be a little lighter. So grabbing my damp pawpaw sponge, I'm gonna go ahead and start blending. So this is it, one layer with a sponge, and I would say it's more of a medium coverage. Meaning it's a little lighter than with the brush, as expected, because we're using a damp sponge, so it's gonna just soak up just a bit of product, not so much. It does provide still good coverage. I tried to cover this little guy and I tried to build it up a bit, but it wouldn't build up too much. You know, I think I would have to keep layering, which at that point I think it would start to look heavy and cakey if you continue to layer a foundation like this. But it is nice. It's still feeling good on the skin. I just applied it, but I'm gonna go ahead like yesterday and show you guys immediately what it's looking like freshly applied with a sponge. So let me know what you guys think. Like yesterday, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup. I am using pretty much the same products just to keep it consistent for the video. The only thing I think I'm changing up today is the lip and the blush, but that's pretty much it. But we'll come back and apply the concealer. Okay, so we're done with the makeup application. I'm gonna go ahead and do the concealer on camera, and I also want to try putting the concealer on that little guy there. So let's see. Like yesterday, I'm gonna just go ahead and apply it under the eyes like so. And then, like I said, on this little guy here and here. Hopefully you guys can see, and I'm gonna start blending that out. I have to say, I love the brightening of this concealer. So it did a nice job at covering up those little red breakouts that I have going on. So now we're gonna go ahead and powder the right side of the face with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake. I'm still gonna use this little guy. I don't know, I've been enjoying it. It's cute. And by pressing it in and not letting it just sit there, we're not baking with it. We're just applying it and making sure it's really pressed into the skin so that it blends with everything seamlessly. So this is super matted and super glowy. Let's go ahead and do under the eye like we did yesterday. I'm gonna make sure that there's no settling, and if there is a bit. With my brush, I'm just gonna wipe them away. Now I'm gonna grab some powder on the brush, my powder brush. Not too much. Let's go ahead and powder under the eye. feel like we're looking super matte on this side today. I didn't do this yesterday, but I am gonna add, because the blush is just completely gone today, I'm gonna add some powder blush, and I'm using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting. I love this blush, and it brings some glow back into your face. Okay, we have some color back. So this is it. It's currently 12:28. I'm gonna do a check-in in natural light in a couple of hours, and then I'm gonna come back in 8 hours and show you guys how this is wearing at the end of the day. Wait. I don't remember if I did this yesterday, but let's do a check-in of everything, how it's looking right now after application, after powder and everything. This is the powdered side. So I'll see you guys back in 8 hours. So this is the powdered side. There is some settling, but again, not too bad. And today you can see it a little more on the non-powdered side. It's definitely settling into the fine lines. We are back, day 2. Final test is done and over with, at least for now. It's wearing pretty good. Personally, there are days, I'll be honest, where I like the sponge a little more depending on what I'm going for. And then there are days where I do mostly prefer the brush application. Let me know your thoughts below, which you think wore better. Everything seems to be wearing pretty well. The blush did wear off, but I wore a different blush, and I know that blush doesn't usually last too long on me. It's not a long wearing formula. It's been 7.5 hours. It hasn't been the full 8 hours. It's 7.5. It's currently 8 p.m. Both days, yesterday and today, the foundation, I had no problem with separation. I had no problem with anything settling into the fine lines. Like I said, I've been wearing my NYX Blur Screen SPF 30 as both SPF and primer. I am out of that, but I've also worn it with the Heimish Artless Glow, I believe it's called. It's another SPF. So I've tried this with different SPFs underneath, and it seems to be wearing well. I haven't had any issues yet. Like I said, I am going to Texas. I will be keeping you guys updated, so be sure to follow me, subscribe so you don't miss out, and follow on Instagram when I reactivate my Instagram account or make a completely new one. I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do with that. I will be keeping you guys updated here on the community tab as well. The concealer, I really love how it covered and lasted under my eyes, but here as well, where I covered up my red zits that I have going on. So it did really good. I do have dry skin, dry sensitive skin to be exact. My skin will react quickly to anything that it doesn't like, and like I said, I've been wearing both of these for about a week now. Since I received the products, I purchased them myself, by the way, and I haven't had any issues with breakouts, with irritation, or anything that would cause my skin to flare up or anything like that. I haven't had any issues with either one of these. Though it is a mattifying foundation, it is a matte foundation, I think whatever you layer underneath it will play a role. So if you have dry skin and you don't like a full matte look, I would say go in with something glowy or a dewy SPF or primer beforehand. Let that settle into the skin, and then go ahead and apply the foundation. It seems to be working beautiful no matter what I put on underneath it so far. Let me go ahead and do a close-up so that you guys can see, and you guys can see the difference in the concealer of how much it settled under my fine lines on the side that's not powdered. So here we go. Hopefully this video has been helpful. Hopefully these close-ups are helpful. The outside tests are helpful. You guys can see here, well, you can definitely see the mascara smudged, but you can see that there was a little more settling into the fine lines on this side than there was on the side that was powder. Now that doesn't mean that just because it was powder there was no settling. There was still some settling on this side as well, but not as much, not as prominent as the side without the powder. Still, I think it did really good considering. So it lets me know that I don't always have to powder under my eyes if I don't want to when I wear this concealer, which is a great thing to know. And again, I'm not noticing any separation or breakdown or settling into the fine lines. Typically, any foundation, most foundations, I should say, would separate or settle around here, around my smile lines. And that has not happened at all with this foundation. Overall, I think it's a great foundation. I think if you have oily skin, combo skin, you're definitely gonna love it because it's not so hydrating that it's gonna make you super oily. And if you have dry skin like I do, I think you can definitely make this work. It is a beautiful foundation, and I think the niacinamide definitely helps with that natural finish. If you've tried this, let me know your thoughts and your experience with it down below, because I know it's different for everyone, so I would love to hear from you. And if you've tried the Ciele concealer, I feel like not many people talk about Ciele as a brand in general, and I think they're really great. They have some amazing products, so I do hope that more people start to talk about Ciele and try their products. But if you've tried anything from Ciele, let me know your thoughts on it as well. I look forward to hearing from you as always, and please let me know what you would like to see next on my channel. And if you found this video helpful at all and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing and turn on the bell notifications so that you get notified every time I post a new video here on my channel. And I just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. It truly means a lot to me and I do appreciate it. And I hope you have an amazing and blessed day wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.